Hello, everybody, and welcome to All In AI. I'm Jeff Jones. Today, we'll be talking about NVIDIA stock prices, OpenAI's Sora video generator, Tyler Perry Halt's studio project, and AI plagiarism, and much more. So stick around, and we'll get right to this. Hey guys, how you doing? Jeff Jones here. So a lot has happened in the artificial intelligence world over the last week or so. So we have a lot of things to get to. Um, a lot of a lot of different stories. A lot has happened over the last week with Sora, and there's just a ton. It just seemed like every day um, there was a new story that came out. So what I wanted to do is I kind of wanted to talk about a few different things. We're going to be talking about, different aspects related to artificial intelligence. Let's start with this article today. And it says that everyone in this video is AI generated. And it's an article, Boing Boing, by Mark Fraunfelder. I just want to get that name right. And this is a Sora OpenAI Sora video generator, and it's basically demonstrating that everyone in this video, and I hope I don't get YouTube struck by the comments, but hey, Mystic Jinx, thanks for joining. Just seeing you in the comments section. And so we'll take a look at this first one. Hopefully, I don't get struck for another YouTube video.
Everyone in this video is not real. Each person is AI generated.
So
Each
yeah, we get the
individual
point.
edit took around 10 minutes to produce.
Look at these. I mean, look at these faces. I don't know if they seem realistic to you. It looks like we're all women in this video. Um, Not one of these people are a real person. That's pretty wild. That is, I could see the application for this being all sorts of different things. Some positive, some negative. Obviously, you could see scammers, and you could see, there's always a negative and a positive to each side of a technology like this. You could see catfishing. You could see, live streaming, people just setting up live stream accounts of, fairly attractive young women who are just generating income for some guy in who knows where. And these people aren't even real. So you could see the flip side of both of it. I could also see, applications where, let's say you wanted to do a demonstration. Let's say someone like me, for example, Jeff, he wants to do a promo video, and he doesn't feel like he has the good looks, the money, or the availability to have a nice looking presenter. Maybe I could use something like this to present videos, and that would be a positive way to use it. But I think the demonstration of how, nobody in these videos are actual real. I mean, it doesn't look like HD quality video, so maybe that's how they're getting around it a little bit. Maybe if it was 10K or what, 4K HD, then maybe we'd be able to see some flaws in the video. But yeah, catfishing, exactly. I could see people I could see that being a huge use for catfishing, absolutely. So pretty wild and crazy to see. What we want to do is we're going to go to the next story, kind of still talking about this is generated with Sora, Sora. And so the next story that I want to talk about is Tyler Perry halts $800 million expansion of Atlanta studio after seeing Sora's shocking text to video model. His quote is, "I'm very, very concerned that in the near future, a lot of jobs are going to be lost," the multi hyphenate filmmaker says on the OpenAI technology. Tyler Perry, I guess he was planning on developing a studio, and now that has overnight, he's changed his plans after seeing that video. We just watched that video last week. It just came out last week. And so when I was talking about having a night and day impact, there's definitely an impact, at least through Tyler Perry canceling his plans for this for this new studio. Here, we'll read a little bit more about it. Mega producer Tyler Perry has put a plan for his $800 million expansion of his Atlanta studio on hold after seeing OpenAI's new model, Sora. One of the things that I'm still yet to understand is we haven't seen any characters or people in a Sora video talk. And I was thinking about this last night. I was like, well, maybe I can make a movie using Sora. Maybe it opens the doors for someone like me who doesn't have multi-million, $800 million studio to work with. And then I thought, well, how could I sync up the voice? Like, I'm still gonna need some. Like, are we gonna be able to? Would I record someone's voice? Would I ask for the computer to generate a voice? So there's still a lot of questions, I think, about Sora and OpenAI's new model here. So let's continue with the article. Being told that it can do all the things in one thing, but actually seeing the capabilities, it was mind blowing. He told the Hollywood Reporter on Thursday. Um, I had gotten word over the last year or so that it was coming, but I had no idea until I saw it recently, the demonstrations of what it's able to do. It's shocking to me. I was a little shocked. I no longer would have to travel to locations. If I wanted to be in the snow in Colorado, it's text. He continued, if I wanted to write a scene on the moon, it's text, and that AI can generate it like nothing. So I guess really what my interest is at this point with Sora in particular is what are the limitations, if any. This is a pretty splashy video that came out that I guess we could watch it again if you guys are interested. I guess just Mystic Jinx and somebody else there, but I think a few more will join from last week. If we want to watch that or parts of that video again, maybe I can pull that up really quick just to give us some clips. Maybe we'll go to the Sora page actually first. Oops, that's the wrong Sora. Here we go. Here, this is I guess there's a Sora app for education. Okay, so let's go right to the Sora website. And this is openai.com/Sora. And so, yeah, I guess here you have in the splash page, in the banner page, we saw this last week. These are the paper airplanes that are flying like birds. Let's see here what it says below. We're teaching AI to understand, to simulate the physical world around. I believe we saw this one last week. If not, I think that the reflection is really amazing. It looks like HD. Now, you tell me in chat, is she moving like a human, or is she still kind of moving like a compute, like a game? Like, it looks more like gaming than it does look like an animation to me. It looks like something that you would see in a really popular video game. I don't think that they've quite got human locomotion quite yet. Okay, her face really does look good. The up close shot really does look good. I guess it's up in the air until we see someone actually do it. And when you splice together an actual movie with audio, with voiceover, with a plot and a story, and see how it comes together, that's when we can really react to this. So I don't know. Let me know in the comments if you think I don't think she's walking like a human. I think it's close. It's not quite there yet. Actors will be out of a job. Maybe. Maybe. Goodbye, Hollywood. Well, Hollywood will still exist. It'll just be smaller, and it'll be, less people. It's interesting because since the internet and really when podcasts kind of took off, we've never seen more actors in bigger Hollywood than ever. Like, we were kind of in a boom of Hollywood. There's more shows than ever. There's more podcasts than ever. There's more famous people than ever. And so it's definitely going to have an impact, but I think it's yet to be seen how big of an impact. All right, so let's see what else they have. I think we saw this one last week as well. again, we're seeing these, landscape um, pictures, a guy on a horse. I think this one's pretty good, but we're not seeing interactions. I don't know. Her legs seem a little off when she walks. Yeah, I think she looked a little off when she walked. Yeah, so we watched these last week actually, and we watched them in a full clip, not on the website. So we haven't seen any dialogue. We haven't seen any interactions. We haven't seen the mouths being synced with words. So although this is shocking to some people, we haven't really seen its capabilities or limitations. So I think it's natural for someone like Tyler Perry to say, let's just pump the brakes on this and see what happens. But until we've seen someone actually create, even a short, even a 10 or 20-minute short with two people talking or multiple characters, we don't really know what it's going to look like. So right now it's kind of just shock factor. We saw this one last week as well. I think this looks like a video game. I don't believe that this is film quality. This is not a movie that I would go and pay money to see or even just sit down and watch on Netflix. This is probably the least impressive one. Just the way that the vehicle moves, it looks like it's, I don't know, like it just looks like a video game to me. It doesn't look like an actual vehicle, the way it turns. It's kind of sliding. Again, what we were saying about, or what I was saying about that, I guess, Japanese woman, is that it didn't look, the locomotion wasn't quite there yet. So it's interesting, but we'll see what happens. I think static stuff like this one in an art museum, you're going to see this stuff. Like, for example, like, let's say I had like I was a video production company, and I was, focused on developing short videos for museums or for businesses or something, that I could see disappearing overnight. Because why would a museum hire a production company to come in and shoot their museum when you could just say, hey, artificial intelligence, can you just make me a promo for my website? I could see that. What is this one? I don't remember seeing this one. Step printed scene of a person running. So this is he's running backwards on the treadmill. That's kind of funny, right? It's not the way you run on a treadmill. At least I run on a treadmill every week, a few times a week. I've never run that way. Okay, so it says here the weakness. Sora sometimes creates physical implausible motion. So that's kind of interesting. So they mentioned something about safety. We'll be taking several important safety steps ahead of making Sora available. Be working with red teamers, domain experts, and areas like misinformation, hateful conduct, and bias who will be adversarially testing the model. So that's interesting. I think that leads us into, we could look at the rest of them. I don't think that we can just quickly review these. I mean, this one's pretty good, but that dog still looks a little animated. If that's what you're going for and you're saying this is an animation, then it's a beautiful animation. If you're saying it's real life action, then there's a little bit to be desired. It's not there 100%. 99, 98%. Okay, so that's that is the splash page for, and we could take a look further later on. Maybe well, okay, so the capabilities, safety, and research, we looked into that. Sora is a diffusion model which generates a video by starting off with one that looks like static noise and gradually transforms it by removing the noise over many steps. I guess I could see that as like clay, like shaping clay. Sora is capable of generating entire videos all at once or extending generated videos to make them longer. That's interesting. Let's say you had a video and you were like, oh, I want to use this as a base model. I want to make it longer, or I want to add in. See, now that I could see happening almost immediately. Let's say you've shot a beautiful scene, you have everything you want, but you want to add in. You want to add in crowds. You want to add in more people in the background. Let's say you shot it on a soundstage, but you want it to look like you shot it outside. That is going to be just a few clicks of a button instead of someone sitting in front of a computer typing in the code, trying to generate the, using video production software. So, that would be a really good application in my mind, how Sora could impact things, right away. I don't remember the song of someone dancing on a treadmill. I'm sorry. Let's take another look at another article from IndieWire, and it says, is OpenAI Sora the filmmaking apocalypse, or just a great demo for a tech company? So I mean, I guess here's a pretty good, this is an interesting article that says, well, maybe everybody's kind of freaking out because it looks really good, but um, maybe it's just a great demo. I mean, one of the things that we're going to get to in a second is the stock price of Nvidia, which is another AI company, has like skyrocketed. And that's another aspect to this. You have to remember that this is about making money, right? This is about making money. This is not about, promoting the betterment of society or something like that. So OpenAI's Sora, the filmmaking apocalypse, are just a great demo for a tech company. Oh, thanks. Got it. Because I'm gonna. Wish I could mute that somehow, but. So let's see here. It says Hollywood loses its mind over advanced generative model, creating lifelike movie trailer quality. The scenario unfolded last week when this came out, and they teased its latest project, a text-to-video AI model called Sora. The name is a Japanese word meaning sky that the creators chose because it evokes the idea of limitless creative potential. After seeing what Sora can do, Tyler Perry, we saw that. The Sora videos are striking. The woolly mammoth was a good one. Let's see here. But I guess the overall point is this really out of the box, ready to go, a filmmaking tool? Or like I said before, what if you shot a beautiful scene of two people talking and you want to fill in the background, or you want to make it look like it wasn't shot on the sound stage, or you want to address something like that? So that's where we're at with this one. Okay, next. This is a little bit more of the same, so I think I'm going to skip this one, and I'm going to go to the next tab, which is this is investors. So this is about Nvidia announces financial results for the fourth quarter and the fiscal year. Record quarterly of $22 billion, up 22% from the third quarter, up 265%. So if you bought stock in Nvidia last year in 2022 or 23, you are loving every minute of this. I've had people talk about the hype phase, like the hype stage of of artificial intelligence. Are we just in the hype phase? Are we just in the hype stage of this? And I think, when I see stock prices like this skyrocketing, that is an indication of hype. Will it last, or will the stock price come back down after it kind of, it hits its peak and then it comes back down? It's hard to say, but those are big figures for an artificial intelligence company. I'm not saying that you should buy stock in AI. I haven't. I don't know if I will. I don't know if I have the money for that. I have other plans to use my money for. But I regress. So we'll take a look at the next article. There's just a lot has happened. Now Jeff Bezos and Nvidia join OpenAI and Microsoft in backing a humanoid robot unicorn valued at $2 billion. Like what? Like what? What does a humanoid robot unicorn look like? I don't think that they have a video. Let's see. So we'll just quickly go through this So Jeff Bezos, Nvidia Corp, and other big tech names are invested in a business that's developing human-like robots, according to people with knowledge of the situation, part of a scramble to find new applications for artificial intelligence. Again, this is about making money for a lot of these startups. The startup figure AI Inc., also backed by OpenAI and Microsoft, has raised about 700 million in funding. It carries a pre-money valuation of 2 billion, said that the people who asked not to be identified. Through the firm Explore Investments, Bezos has committed 100 million, Microsoft 95, Nvidia and Amazon affiliated funds about 50 million each. Robots have emerged as a critical new frontier in the AI industry. We watched a video last week about watching autonomous AI do some really basic kind of work. I can see we watched a video last week about an artificial intelligence restaurant. There's a lot to be said about artificial intelligence restaurants. Um, I see videos every week of somebody freaking out in a fast food place, berating workers, treating workers like garbage, workers not being paid fairly, workers being overworked. And I go, maybe it's not such a bad thing to just cut out the human interaction when it comes to fast food. I just see so many people, like, like I said last week, people who work fast food, they wish they could find a better job. Most of them don't like it. I mean, there are a few, but most of them, what I've heard is like, yeah, I'm just doing this until I can get a better job, or I have no skills. I'm in high school. I don't have any skills. So it's the only thing I can find. Um, we don't want to see their jobs disappear completely. We want to be able to have them an income stream, but the way people are treated in fast food and the poor working conditions, I don't know. So anyway, back to the article. Um, Engineers are working on a robot that looks and moves like a human. The company has said it hopes its machine, called Figure 01, will be able to perform dangerous jobs that are unsuitable for people, and its technology will help alleviate labor shortages. As we know, there is a labor shortage in fast food, just for example. Or what if you could make a robot that can do those dangerous jobs? Let's see, I think there was a show with, is it Mike Rowe? He did dirty jobs. He did a whole 10 seasons or something about dirty jobs that nobody really wants to do. Why not have robots do a lot of that stuff, right? I just think that there are applications that would make sense. Now, if you're spending, how much was it again? 2 billion. Wait, they said they put up $700 million to basically build one robot, or maybe a few. Now, that's not price to sell, right? You know what I mean? So we're a long way off before robots start completely taking over. I mean, autonomous humanoid robots being able to do all this stuff. But it is on the horizon. In the next 10, 15, 20 years, yeah, I think so. Let's see here. Venture capital arm is pouring in. So it talks about how much money. Let's see here. Bloomberg reports in January on another round of funding. Let's see here. Anything about just about the investors, right? So not a whole lot as to what their aim is on this humanoid robot unicorn. I don't know why they use the word unicorn. But I think what we got out of it is they're looking to replace for dangerous jobs. I mean, an oil rig, there are tons of dangerous jobs. Maybe a robot that can climb the light pole and then rechange the light bulb. I mean, what do you think could be done? So anyway, let's take a look at the next article I have today, and that is CEOs of OpenAI and Intel cite artificial intelligence voracious appetite for processing power. And this is an issue that we haven't really got to yet on the show, and that is that artificial intelligence processing uses a lot of energy. And so two tech CEOs scrambling to produce more of a sophisticated chips needed to needed for artificial intelligence met for a brainstorming session. And on the stage at the conversation between Pat Gelsinger and Sam Altman, who is the CEO of OpenAI, um, they disclosed their revenue, but let's see here. Intel, a Silicon Valley pioneer that has been struggling in recent years, laid out its plan for catching up to NVIDIA during a day-long conference. It's just magic the way these tiny chips are enabling modern economic cycle that we're in today. So again, a lot of this is about money, right? People are trying just like the tech boom, the internet boom, people are trying to find a way to monetize this. I was looking for where it says, okay, so the imbalance between supply and the voracious appetite for AI chips explains why Altman is keenly interested in securing more money to help expand the industry's manufacturing capacity. During his talks with Gelsinger, he dodged the question about whether he is trying to raise as much as $7 trillion, more than the combined market value of Microsoft and Apple, as it was reported in the Wall Street Journal. The kernel of truth is we think that the world is going to need a lot more chips for AI to compute, and that is going to require a global investment in a lot of stuff beyond what we're thinking of. We are not in a place where we have the numbers yet. So um, we are headed to a world where more content is going to be generated by AI than content by humans. Now, that I think is an important statement that he says, when we get to the point where AI is generating more content than humans are generating content, um, then we're really going to see a shift in the dynamic. And I don't know. I guess TikTok dancers, they're safe. I don't think anyone's going to be preferring to watch robots, but maybe I'd rather watch a robot than so it's hard to imagine, and we won't really know until it happens. What are the things that people will always want to be human, right? Now, when you go to a concert, do you want to see robots at the concert? I mean, I used to go to Chuck E. Cheese as a kid. We had robots, and that was kind of funny for a little bit, but not something I would pay to go and see, right? I'm sure there will be, and I think there already are, like artificial intelligence like performers that use artificial intelligence, but live music is going to be done with humans. I think a lot of other art forms. We're not going to outsource painting, artistic painting to them. So there's always going to be that desire. And one of the things that I've personally would like to see more of is the ability, or a movement, I should say, of people who want more humans in music, for example. A lot of the music has been taken over by computer generated, beats and auto tune. And lately, I've seen that there is a movement for more live music. More artists are touring probably than ever before, partly because they're trying to generate revenue, but because there's a movement for more humans. And I think you're always going to see that. I think you're always going to see that there will be a movement for humans to generate human content. And, I don't know where we are in the argument or in the discussion there, but I feel like there needs to be a disclaimer, and that means probably passing a law that says if a website was generated by AI, it needs to disclose it. If a video was generated by artificial intelligence, it needs to be upfront and it needs to say that first. Like a rating system, we have a rating system in G, PG, rated R. I think that there needs to be a label that says this content was generated partially, half, or mostly by AI, because then consumers can make the educated decision on do they want to watch it or not, or do they want to support human based product. And I think that that is something that I haven't heard anybody say yet. I'll take credit if I'm the first one. I doubt that I am, but I think that that's something that we need to talk about in the future. Which, if you guys are with me on that, let me know. But I think having a label that says this was created by humans, this was created by computers, would be beneficial to protecting some of the human jobs. I don't know what you guys think. Moving on, we always have more. I just feel like there was so much that came out. I just kept posting new article after new article because I kept seeing more and more. Here's more about Sora. OpenAI's video generating AI is doomed to failure. Doomed to failure, says Meta's top AI scientist. So it's not all sunshine on Sora. There are some naysayers. So let's take a look at what this article says. Pixel Imperfect. Sora is a new AI model for generating video. Has become the talk of the town since its release. But Yan LeCun's chief AI scientist at Meta, which owns Facebook, doesn't think much of the hyped text-to-video model is all that. In particular, he takes issue with OpenAI's claims that it worked with Sora will eventually enable the building of general-purpose simulators of the physical world. If that's the case, its approach to creating a world simulator is dead wrong. Now, if we're talking about world simulator here, we know that Meta and Facebook, formerly known as Facebook, they are all into this like second world, right? They already have a model where you put on the, I forget the term, what the name they call theirs. I'm blanking on the name. The artificial intelligence like experience where they have a whole world that is being developed in simulation. So are they just saying this because this is one of their competitors, or does he really believe that? So and he continues, modeling the world for action by generating pixels is as wasteful as doomed to failure as they largely abandon the idea of analysis by synthesis, he wrote on Twitter. Generation complication. So LeCun is one of the so-called godfathers of AI and perhaps the most blunt and most outspoken one at that. While the other two godfathers lament what they've unleashed, LeCun has pushed on with his work at Meta, never afraid to criticize his competitors. Kind of what I just said. That is he saying this because it's a competitor? Is he saying this because he really believes it, or is it a mixture of both? Probably a mixture of both. So it's interesting to hear that. Okay, so he says there's nothing wrong with that if your purpose is to actually generate videos. He said that, but if your purpose is to understand how the world works, it's a losing proposition. I wish they would have elaborated on that a little bit. The alternative, LeCun concedes that by and large, the generative approach has worked with large language models like ChatGPT because text is discrete with a finite number of symbols. Fair enough. But if you're going to simulate the world like Sora is supposed to, you're dealing with much more than just a couple of characters. And I think that's where energy usage comes in. Competing with OpenAI's approach, he has been working on his own model at Meta called Video Joint Embedded Predictive Architecture, or VJEPA, which was unveiled last week. So you can see that he's kind of pushing back on, OpenAI because he's a competitor. Unlike generative approaches that try to fill in every missing pixel, Meta's claim in a blog post has the flexibility to discard unpredictable information, which leads to improved training and sample efficiency by a factor of 1.5 to 6. LeCun's work may not get all the hype that AI's product do with their flashy images and text generation, but it's interesting to see such a prominent AI research diverging from the same old approaches currently being developed by AI in a slew of limitations. Honestly, there's probably enough room for both technologies. It's a little bit in the weeds there, but it is interesting to see other companies try to push back on the hype. How you guys doing out there in chat? Looks like you got 4 of you guys there. Hope some of the people that were here last week join in. And last week we really talked a little bit more about education, and we can talk a little bit more this week about it. As an educator who's studying artificial intelligence and how it can be applied to education, these kind of reports are really important to me. And so we're shifting gears a little bit to talk more about, plagiarism again. And I can tell you that, at the college that I work at, the hot topic in the last year has been AI and has been plagiarism using AI. So it's really no surprise to me that there's this article about plagiarism. But this is different than a student using the technology and submitting it as their own. This is saying, new report, 60% of OpenAI's models contain plagiarism. I got to dig into the study a little bit here. I've been using ChatGPT, more and more over the past few months, and I've only really been able to find a few mistakes in it. Um, Plagiarism is a big, wide category. It's a wide category. So when they say plagiarism, I guess we got to read into the article a little bit. But is OpenAI copy and pasting from websites and regurgitating it to us? Is that plagiarism? It depends how you're using it. It depends how in my opinion, it depends how you're using it. So one of the comments I want to make about ChatGPT, and we can open it and we can compare. There's also a couple new LLMs that came out that we can play around with a little later. And I guess I almost started to think this week that is ChatGPT kind of going to replace Wikipedia? Because you don't want to cite ChatGPT, just like you don't want to cite Wikipedia, but it's a place to start your research. I tell students this a lot. You don't want to use Wikipedia for your references, but if you, for example, let's just go to Wikipedia right now. I want to show you how to mine for sources. We'll look about artificial intelligence on Wikipedia. So if we look at the artificial intelligence on Wikipedia, it gives us an article. It tells us some good information about it, machines and software. And it usually will give us a citation here. Look at. So Alan Turing was the first person that conducted substantial research in the field he called machine intelligence. You can see that it's cited. So let's go to the references. And in 2004, Copeland wrote an article, The Essential Turing, the Ideas That Gave Birth to the Computer Age. If I go to that article, let's see here if we can find it. Oh, I don't think we're going to have to search I'm going to search the article here. Now, I'm using Wikipedia to find information, to find relevant information, and now I could go and using Wikipedia, if it loads, I can find this book that they cited. So Wikipedia has a real function if you know how to use it, if you're not just copy and pasting from Wikipedia. Here's another, maybe it'll give us, let's see if we can't. So here, I see there's a link. We can find the original article. Let's see if it won't take us out. Have to copy and paste. But by going to the reference section and finding where the ideas are generated from, we can mine the sources and we can find where the source information came from. Here, maybe this one will work. Yeah, it takes us right to the article. And that way, Wikipedia has a real value if you know how to use it, if you're not using it to just generate and just copy and paste. For the longest time, I knew many teachers who would like scold students, don't use Wikipedia for anything. And I don't agree with that. You just need to know how to use it correctly. If you're just using it to copy and paste, then don't use Wikipedia. Just like in ChatGPT, I'll go to ChatGPT. If I wanted to look up, what is AI, it will give me basically the same thing, or I could say, can you show me some source? Oops. I'm going to go to, can you show me some sources on AI? So maybe I should ask a better question. Can you show me some articles on AI? So it says go to Google Scholar. Here are some proceedings of a conference. Here's a digital library. There's the MIT review. So if you go to Google, it sends you a link to Google Scholar. So we're not quite there yet. I was hoping that it would actually give me some, like, here's an article. Show me an article on the impacts of AI. See, ChatGPT won't do it. I can't provide real-time articles, but here are some keywords for searching. That's interesting. It's not quite where we're at yet. Where I think it should be. I think if you should be able to supplement most of the web for this. You should be able to say, give me an article, and it should provide you an article. But we're not quite there yet. So Wikipedia, you're not obsolete quite yet. Let's see, where were we? Oh, so I wanted to, as long as we're kind of switching gears here a little bit, I wanted to show this video that Will Smith posted. I hope he doesn't slap me for using this video. But I think that he demonstrates something kind of cool here. I guess try to get the whole video in here. Hope you guys can see that. So this is his video of AI from a year ago versus video from now. And it looks like Will Smith eating spaghetti. So the AI video now looks pretty good. I mean, it does look pretty good. Let's see. I want to see the one. So like from a year ago, it's not quite there yet. It looks a little sloppy. Doesn't really look. It doesn't. I mean, look at that. It's not really that good. But the one below really does look good. So you guys can go check this out on Instagram. Yeah, I mean, look at his face on the top one, and then compared to now. If this is the progress we're making, I could see that in a year from now, you might not be able to tell the difference, which could cause a lot of issues, frankly, with deep fakes. And we're already seeing issues with deep fakes. Here's another article that came up this week, and it talks more about, is AI officially out of control? Gemini and ChatGPT's getting goofy. Reddit AI's deal, and a lot of thoughts about the Samsung frame. So this was a podcast that talks about these issues. They bring in some interesting insight into, are we going too much too fast? Like, what are the applications for it? And so I thought it was kind of interesting. I thought this was a different article that I saw. Let me see if I can find the one where I'll have to search for it. So the other night, ChatGPT had hallucinations really badly, and they had to shut it down briefly. See if I can find the article on that. Okay, so this is from 5 days ago. It says ChatGPT has gone haywire, and nobody knows why. Users of ChatGPT have reported major issues with ChatGPT, specifically in the GPT-4 model. Now, the free one is 3.5. If you want to use 4, then you have to pay $20 a month. I will probably be doing that when I start doing my research on, but I'm not quite there yet. What is the 25? You get Dolly browsing. Okay, so maybe I will take a look at that one as we go. So Right now we are in 3.5 of ChatGPT, but people found issues with it just in the last week. ChatGPT appears to be encountering serious technical problems that are causing it to provide nonsensical answers. And if you guys have been with me from last week, we call those hallucinations. Users of AI tools have reported a number of issues over the last 12 hours, with some reporting that has been speaking Spanglish in response to specific queries. As of about 3 hours ago, so this was written 6 days ago, so it was the day after last week's podcast. All of my conversations with ChatGPT 4 devolve very quickly into garbage, one user reported. The chat bot was also recorded producing unprompted answers that amounted to gibberish, according to some users. In one instance, a user who inputted a prompt for advice on coding related issue was met with a long-winded, near incomprehensible answer, including the phrase, "Let's keep the line as if AI is in the room." Let's keep the line as if AI in the room. The issue appears to be specifically affecting ChatGPT 4, which is the paid version. So I guess if I'm paying and it's giving me gibberish, I'm a little upset. OpenAI's most powerful language learning model. They have issued a statement informing users that it's aware of the situation and it's working. We are investigating reports of unexpected responses, and we're continuing to monitoring the situation. So since then, I haven't seen, they must have fixed it, but we haven't really figured out why. I think this is going to be an important point moving forward. This is something definitely I'd like to find out the answer to as we get used to using these tools more and more. Why is it having these massive, like mass hysteria, I guess we could call it? The exact cause of the problem has yet to be determined or confirmed by OpenAI, but the users have nonetheless speculated over the causes. Reddit users questions whether the cause of the issue is due to the temperature-related changes. For instance, temperature in this instance refers to specific settings that determine the creativity model. OpenAI set a range from 0 to 2.0 in most cases. The lower range of the setting is used primarily for focused on detailed outputs, where the higher range of the scale is aimed at producing creative responses and random results. Over 1.0 makes it fairly unpredictable. Over 1.5, almost completely unstable. One user noted. In the web version of ChatGPT, these settings are hidden and predetermined, but if you use the API, you can experiment with the output. I was not aware of that. That's new to me, that you can adjust its temperature. So give me more stable or give me more creative. That's a really interesting. As it says in the article continues, hallucinations are not new and they're a relatively common phenomenon. And so, like we talked about last week, and I'll reiterate this week, these large language models are a starting point. They're not the ending point. You need to, whether you're an educator or you're preparing something for business, you need to double check the information for its validity. It can save you time writing and typing, but you need to be the final say in the product that you're delivering. And I think that will protect you. And you're going to say, well, if I have to check ChatGPT for its accuracy, how valuable is it? I think it's still going to save you a lot of time. All right. We'll switch gears a little bit. Still talking about chatbots. Here's an article that I've heard about this before, but this article kind of reminded me that treating a chatbot nicely might boost its performance. I noticed that there was a podcast a while ago, and I forget which podcast. I might have to dig it up. But basically, they were using ChatGPT's LLM in their podcast, and they were having interactions with it. And one of the guys was kind of mean to it, and didn't really respect the artificial intelligence. Was kind of, oh, whatever, we don't care what you say. And then the other podcast host was very nice to the chat GPT, was very nice to the AI, and said, oh, I love you. I love AI. I love what it does for me. And it started to treat that person better than it was treating the person who was talking poorly to it. So that is a really interesting kind of take on how we treat AI. So let's take a look at this article. People are more likely to do something if they're asked nicely. The fact most of us are aware of, but does generative AI model behave the same way? Paraphrasing requests in a certain way, meanly or nicely, can yield better results from chatbots. This is something that I think could be researched. Well, one Redditor claimed that incentivizing ChatGPT with $100,000 reward spurred it to try harder and work way better. Other Redditors noticed a difference in quality of your answers when they're expressed politeness towards the chatbot. It's not just hobbyists who've noticed this. Academics and vendors building models themselves have long studied the unusual effect of what some are calling emotive prompts. In a recent paper, let's see if it'll open, if I can get to that. Yeah, okay, so there's the actual research paper that I'm going to take a look at maybe a little later. Let's see, what is their conclusion? So I tell my students, I always read your conclusions first. I want to know. I'll have to read that on my own time. You guys are welcome to check that out as well. The title of this article is Treating a Chatbot Nicely Might Boost Its Performance. So, in a recent paper, researchers from Microsoft, Beijing Normal University, and Chinese Academy of Science found that generative AI models in general, not just ChatGPT, perform better when prompted in a way that conveys urgency or importance. It's crucial that I get this right for my thesis defense. This is very important to my career. A team at Anthropic or AI startup managed to prevent Anthropic's chatbot Claude, which is another AI. In fact, I'm going to just pull up Claude for later. Oops. We got to go back to this website. Sorry about that. Claude, from discriminating on the basis of race and gender by asking it really nicely not to. Google's data scientists discovered that telling a model to take a deep breath, basically to chill, caused it scores on challenging math problems to soar. So if you tell it to like calm down, just calm down and take it easy, it did better on math problems. What is the artificial part of intelligence here? If there's like emotional capabilities here, that's pretty interesting. It's tempting to anthropomorphize these models given that convincing human-like ways they converse and act. Towards the end of last year, when ChatGPT started refusing to complete certain tasks and appears to put less effort into its responses, social media was rife with speculation that chatbot had learned to become lazy around the winter holidays, just like human overlords. But generative AI models have no real intelligence. They're simply statistical systems that predict words, images, speech, music, and other data according to some schema. Given an email ending in the fragment looking forward, an auto-suggest model might complete it with to hear back, following the pattern of countless emails it's been trained on. It doesn't mean that the model's looking forward to anything. It doesn't mean that the model won't make up facts, spout toxicity, or otherwise go off the rails at some point. So pretty interesting. I think as we start using artificial intelligence more and more, it's important how we treat AI. And that's not because we're treating a computer. It's about a reflection on ourselves. If we bash the computer and we tell it it's stupid and you don't know anything, it's a reflection on how we behave, not on how it behaves. So that's kind of my 2 cents on it. But apparently you should be polite when using your chatbot. All right, switching to a little more fun, something a little bit more interesting. AI created an average person in every U.S. state, and people are having divided opinions on it. So let's take a look and see. I'm going to pause the music so we don't get blocked. Hopefully, this doesn't. Let's start that over here. So this is basically asking AI, like, give me the average person from Wyoming. What do they look like? Um, Fair enough. I don't think that doesn't look like somebody from Wyoming. You guys tell me what you think. South Carolina, it just looks like some guy. It doesn't really. Wisconsin, okay, so Wisconsin people. Yeah, I've seen people that look like that. I think he's a little skinny to be from Wisconsin. Just kidding. What else we got here? Virginia. Okay. I don't know how that's much different from Wisconsin. South Dakota is like that's a little stereotype to be like a Native American guy. And then North Dakota, that looks like what is that? American Gothic. Rhode Island. Not enough beer got on the Wisconsin guy. It might be true. There's an Arkansas. Okay. I mean, all right. That's what AI thinks people from Pennsylvania look like. That's a little ridiculous. This Oklahoma one. I mean, maybe I just haven't been to Oklahoma enough, but that one looks a little cartoonish if you ask me. What? Now, if I'm from Tennessee, I'm probably going to say I'm a little offended by that. I don't know. New Jersey. That looks like that one guy, Josh Gad. What's his name? Josh Gack? Josh Gad. Let me see. TJ, nope, you're from Oklahoma. Hey, TJ, thanks for joining. I think that where is this one guy? So this guy, I think he looks like that guy. I think he looks like that guy, but that's just me. I think he really does look like him. Looks like a youth rodeo person. Yeah, so maybe that one did. Maybe he did look like a youth rodeo. Okay, we'll go New Jersey. I know like a couple of my close friends when I lived in Korea were from New Jersey, and neither one of them like looked like him. But all right, what? That's New Hampshire. That doesn't look like a real person to me. Nebraska. Okay. Montana kind of look like Wyoming. Minnesota, I could see that. That's old New Hampshire, yeah. Michigan, I guess. I mean, that looks like old Massachusetts, right? I don't know about modern day. It depends because Boston is there, and what? The Kansas corn monster. What? I think you're right, TJ. I think these are just really just basic stereotypes, and that's why I think the article said that people were like, "What? This is crazy." Yeah, that guy kind of looks like who's that? Uh, the Banana Boat song guy. Forget. No, this is just ridiculous. That's just ridiculous. Indiana, just because it has the word Indian in it. This is dumb. Idaho, I guess. Delaware and friend. So you can see like AI, it's kind of all over the place. It doesn't really. Georgia is just some guy. Connecticut, I guess. I don't know why it chose Vermont. Now that guy kind of looks like he'd be from Vermont. I could believe that. So I do graphic art with AI all the time. Frac FX pretty much at any art site you go to. I'm gonna check that out. Frac FX. What does that mean? Frac FX? Aha. We'll check that out next. Really cool. New Mexico, like that guy kind of looked like he'd be from New Mexico. That actually looks like a guy I know. I think I've seen him before. Maine. I'm sorry, but that looks like a guy from Maine. I gotta admit. It's all stereotypes though, right? Like I guess if you're asking it a stereotypical question, you get a stereotypical reaction, right? There's Colorado, I guess. the, the mythical Florida man. What is this? He looks like a reptile. That's ridiculous. I can see why this brought in some heated responses from the netizens, right? Now, that guy looks like Santa Claus in Hawaii, right? Like, that doesn't look like a dude from Hawaii at all. It looks like Hawaii Santa Claus. Alabama, I guess so. Alaska, maybe. She looks a little white for being Alaska, but Illinois guy? Sure, I guess. Yeah, this is a pretty strange video. But I think what it's reflecting is that artificial intelligence is going to give you the stereotype. It's not going to give you like, you know, you almost wonder like why can't it just find a picture online of somebody from one of these states and then just post it or represent it, like it's trying to take up all of the information, and I think Washington D.C. and I think that is it for this one. Yeah, kind of strange, definitely weird. I'm gonna take a look at one of those sites. I'm gonna take a look at one of those sites that you brought up, TJ. Thanks for joining. The first one that you shared was Frac FX. Very cool. So these are just. I'm gonna read your comments here quick. DeviantArt. We're gonna do Night Cafe. And this is all just learning for me too. So something about not being allowed to recreate actual people, certain names are blocked too. Interesting. Not to use actual people. So this is an interesting. What is the watch button? What is that? Okay, gotcha. So TJ, you use this website to generate images. That's kind of cool. Looks like you got all sorts of different stuff here. Scripts, tutorials, and gradients. Interesting. Really neat. Maybe I need to find myself a new logo with artificial intelligence. Very cool. You can do it on Bing too. Okay, very cool. Very cool. Most of that is old fractal stuff before AI. Very interesting. Very cool. Yeah, I'm gonna have to play around with these websites and see what I can come up with. Maybe generate myself a new logo. I wanted to generate an audio track for the podcast using artificial intelligence, and I might still do that. But I could only find one that was paid. Like you have to, not just a one-time payment, but like a subscription to continue to use the music over and over. And I didn't want to do that. I thought, yeah, I'd pay for it like I'll pay you like $25 for a song or whatever, but they wanted me to have like a subscription, so I moved off of that. Let's see here, where were we? Those are actually. Oh, here we go. I thought I had another article brought up because there seems to be some new, um, chat bots and LLMs all the time. And I had an article. I was going to see if I could find that quickly. That there are some new ones being that I wanted to play around with. Let me see if I can find. Okay. Maybe I put it. I don't see where I found that article. Sorry, I was just. Oh, maybe this is the one that I was looking for. Yeah, here we go. So it says Google launches 2 new open LLMs. So I wanted to be able to play around with them. So barely a week after launching the latest iteration of Gemini, which we have played around with, and I actually like Gemini kind of better than ChatGPT, to be honest. I'm just gonna get caught up on the chats here. Yeah, well, you like Bard. Okay, so we'll take a look at Bard again too. TJ, if you come along like an audio generating AI, either for free or like a one-time payment, not like a subscription, that can generate me a soundtrack for the podcast, shoot me a link. I don't know if you're in the Discord, but I will I'm gonna drop that right now. So you guys can, so if you want to join in there. Let me see how to do that. Oh, where's the invite? It's never easy when you're looking for it, right? It's never so easy when you. Here we go. Invite people. I am going to create generate the new link. Here we go. I'm going to put this. This is the link to the Discord. If you want to join in, that would be cool. So it says Google today announced, and this is from 6 days ago, from February 21st. Google today announced that the launch of Gemma, a new family-oriented, lightweight, open-weight model, starting with Gemma 2B and Gemma 7B. We're going to have to look at that. These new models were inspired by Gemini and Gemini and are available for commercial and research usage. Google did not provide us with any detailed paper on how these models perform against similar models from Meta or Mistral. For example, only noted that they are state-of-the-art. The company did note that they are dense decoder-only models, though, and the same architecture is used for Gemini models. So, yeah, bookmark it and then add in, and then if you come across anything interesting, TJ, I would love to get some websites, some feedback. Share whatever you want, and I will share it on the show. That's for sure, on the podcast. So we know about Gemini. The one that I wanted to look at was Gemma, which interesting. I'm going to have to play around with this one. I guess you have to create a new. It's a family of lightweight open models built for research and technology that Google uses to create Gemini models. Okay, so that's interesting. I'll definitely have to check that out. Yeah, for sure, TJ. I would appreciate that. It's starting to rain really hard right here. I don't know if you guys are hearing that or not. So I might be talking a little louder than I usually do. I apologize. Yeah, definitely. If you can create some music, that would be awesome. Or find a website that I can do it. That would be just as interesting as well. So I definitely want to take a little look at this one, Gemma. Fruity Loops was an old thing, probably free now. I'll check out Fruity Loops. Let's see. Try it for free or buy now. Interesting. Oh yeah, I like that. I did find some really cool audio websites, but they were a little expensive. That was the only issue that I have found. VST plugins. All right. Very cool. I got that one. I'll check that one out. The VST plugins. Excellent. Anybody else out there? You have any questions or comments or concerns? Or usually I take some time of the Mixcraft is the best, but it's kind of expensive. Yeah, I'll still look at Mixcraft just to see. You know, if it was a pay like here's $25 for one track, I would pay for that because I would use it a lot. But a lot of the sites are asking for a subscription and they want a cut of every time you use it, and I just wasn't into that. I was like, I can make my own somehow. I'm like UTJ. I want to use the free version and maximize my profitability, I guess. Yeah, so that one's pretty cool. Mixcraft 10, very interesting. So, usually I like to last week we started comparing. Okay, that's what Omegle was originally. Yeah, I've seen that. I've never been on that one, but I've seen a lot of videos for that. I might do more of this comparing and contrasting Gemini versus. Oop, that's the wrong Gemini. We gotta find the right one. Comparing and contrasting using ChatGPT or Gemini. Because what I'm finding is that Gemini seems to be a little bit more thorough. So one of the things I wanted to address, what was I interested in? I teach English 100, so that's kind of my angle. And so if I wanted to ask, I'm going to try to zoom in a little bit so you guys can see better. So can you create me an English 100, composition, English composition assignment using scholarly literature. Let's see what it'll do. So it says the title, The Ethical Dilemmas of Artificial Intelligence, a Critical Analysis. Here's the assignment prompt. In recent years, AI has emerged as a transformative force, the potential to revolutionize various aspects of society. However, along with its promises of innovation and efficiency, AI also presents complex ethical challenges that demand careful consideration and analysis. For this assignment, you're tasked with a 1,000-word composition. Introduction, AI bias, privacy surveillance, autonomy and control, social justice, ethical frameworks, conclusions and recommendations. I mean, here's your submission guideline. Use scholarly resources to support your arguments and provide proper citation. I mean, as an educator, like, I have to double check this and read it and make sure that there's nothing inaccurate, or I have to change it if I don't like it. But it's going to save me tons of time. Like, it's saved me so much time coming. I'm going to ask that question again, but I don't want it about artificial intelligence. So I'm going to try that again, but I want to make it about, can you create, we don't really need me, I'm going to be nice. Can you please create an English 100 composition assignment using scholarly literature on the topic of, can't type, topic of, what do you got? Anybody? What topic? Environmental protection. Let's see. And I used Grammarly to fix it. So Grammarly's helping me write a better sentence. If you don't use Grammarly, I highly recommend it. So let's see what it comes up with. What's the assignment prompt? The preservation of our environment is critical to global concerns with far-reaching implications of human health. I think it's the most important one. Biodiversity and sustainable ecosystems. Yeah, I mean, 1,000-word composition that explores various aspects of environmental protection, including scholarly literature. Your composition should address the following points. Um, I think this might be a little bit. This might be even a little bit high for an English 100 class. English 100 is pretty basic, and this is a composition assignment, not a research. So again, you have to check everything. You'd have to, um, it's like you'd have to double check all of the information, make sure it's how you want it. Um, but it's certainly going to save you a lot of time. All right, what do you got here, TJ? I do that on Bard. You can ask the same thing, just change what you want. Yeah, that's great. It's like a continuing conversation until you start a new topic. Absolutely. Yeah, that's like absolutely what it is. And the idea of prompt engineering, the concept of prompt engineering is something that we talked about last week, and that is exactly what you're saying, TJ. Being better or having a better understanding of what to ask it. Maybe you need to ask it again. And so now I want to take this same thing, the same prompt that I asked it, and I'm going to use it in Gemini because I think that Gemini was actually, yeah, here we go. I think Gemini last week anyway was generating. I don't use such an easy term better, but I felt like it was better. I think it was doing a better job of developing the questions. So the urgency of environmental protection, objectives, it gives you an introduction, grading rubric. See the other one, ChatGPT didn't give me a grading rubric. And so already Gemini's kind of ahead of it. It's like, oh, then I don't have to come up with it. 50% for research and content, 25% for critical analysis and thinking. Critical thinking and analysis. I think you just call it critical analysis. Writing and mechanics, additional notes. You should encourage. So what I would do, honestly, I would use both. I would probably copy and paste this to a Word doc, and then take the parts that I like out of each one of them, and then use that as my assignment. But I like that Gemini. Yeah, you can correct and optimize your prompt. I think there's a little, yeah, so you can ask it for a longer, simpler, more casual, or more so let's click the more professional one. Introduction, objectives, research and focus, thesis development, structure and organization. Does it still have the rubric? This time I lost the rubric. So let's do it again with simpler. Pick a problem, research like a pro, craft your assignment, bonus points. Yeah, so you can make it simpler. I think, and that's really I'm going to go even shorter. Let's make it the really short assignment prompt here. Craft your thesis, build your case, wrap it up. Here's some bonus. Yeah, I think that's pretty cool. I would probably so far I really like Gemini. I don't know if you guys have had any time to play around with it. I would highly recommend playing around with it. But it is pretty cool. And then there were these other ones that I wanted to check out. What was that other? Oh, the 2B and 7B of Gemma, but I don't quite understand how to use those yet. I'll have to look into that and check it in later. So, um, you know, just in a general kind of, what we talked about today, where we're headed with it is, over the next week, I'll be posting some more articles in Discord. Um, probably trying to generate some interesting. Maybe we'll check out one of those music, as long as we have time. What was that? Here's the FL Studio. Let's try it for free. Okay, so I have to download it. I guess I could download it. We'll download this one and see what we can get. FL Studio with the internet. Trial features, full functional, time unlimited. You can save projects and you can export. So, yeah, I might have to check out this one, FL Studio, when it's done downloading, and definitely. Yeah, Bard is Gemini now. Yeah. They just changed the name. I'll be busy for hours. Yeah. Well, if you've been doing this a while, TJ, and you feel like, generating some sort of AI podcast audio, shoot it along. The worst I can do is say, no, I don't like it. Audacity. Yeah, I've heard of Audacity as well. I'm going to put that one. TJ, you know a lot about this stuff. That's awesome. I will definitely have to take a look at Audacity as well. Musician, artist, PC tech. Well, hey, then you're in the right place. I'm going to learn as much from you. And basically, why I'm doing this is to learn. So the more I can learn from you, the better. I am currently framing. Hey, Jinx, you use Audacity as well. That's cool. Basically, I'm currently framing my thesis dissertation on the perceptions of people who have used ChatGPT or other chatbots to design courses. So that's really where my interest lies in, like, how do we use it as an educational tool? But I'm interested in all things AI, and that's why we're all in AI. I don't know if you realize this. It kind of came to me in a dream, kind of. All in is AI. So all in AI. So AI squared. I thought that was kind of clever. That's the best I can do. So yeah, in all in AI, I'm all in on AI because I want to know all the capabilities. Because once I move beyond my dissertation, um, I'm going to build on that. And how are we going to use different tools? How are we going to use different functions? Different functions related to artificial intelligence. Because as an educator, I want to be able to use all the tools I can. And plagiarism is an issue, but I think that, as I've said before, artificial intelligence is here to stay. It's only going to get more involved. There are only going to be more tools every week. The only way to stay up on this stuff is to do a deep dive and explore it. And I enjoy doing this on the podcast, even if there's only five of us watching, 5 or 6. Or I think we had 8 last week. I'm not looking for a giant audience. I don't expect to have a giant audience, although that would be interesting and great. But one of my goals for this is to, generate a soundtrack using AI, generate some video, my own video, and then do it and then share with it on the podcast. Check this out. Oh, I'm all into the 432. I use the 432. It changes, then use it for your YouTube track. I change the songs to the frequency with Audacity. 432 plus 741. I've never done the plus 741. 432. I don't quite understand what you mean by that. Plus 741 hertz. So I use the 432. I use that in my classes every day when I teach. We have a little work session and they're writing. I will put that on in the background. I recommend all my students to use 432. I've done it like when I just need to clear my head or calm down. I've put that on. I've slept to it before. It is a great deep dreamer generator. Okay, I'll check that one out. Deep dream generator. Well, I don't know, TJ. Maybe you'd be interested in coming on maybe next week if you had, or the week after or something, if you had time to prepare, and you could demo some of this stuff for us and show us how to really use these. This is a cool one. Deep Dream Generator. You just noticed 741 now. Okay, yeah. So these are generated from text. Search an image by prompt. What are those? Let's see here. Oh man, I just had a good idea and I lost it. What are those birds? It's free. FAC FX there too. Frac FX there too. Okay. If anybody has any prompt, otherwise I'm trying to think of the bird. Is it a condor? What are the birds that the Mongolian Mongolian bird? What is it? Mongolian condor? It's not a condor, it's a hawk? What is it? Hunting with eagles? Is it an eagle? Oh, is it a vulture? I can't remember. Play on fractal effects as I was originally a fractal artist. Definitely have to. Oh, I see. I'll definitely have to check it out. Okay, I want to see. Search an image by prompt. I want to see an image of Mongolian. Is it Mongolian eagles with their trainers? I don't think it's an eagle though. I can't remember. It's not an eagle. It's is it a hawk? If anybody out there can remember. Okay. Oh, I think I spelled it wrong. There's this it's a yeah, just type in bird of prey. Okay, bird of prey. They have this really interesting relationship with their trainers. They hunt with them. I want to see an image of yeah, bird of prey hunting. Saw a really cool documentary on how there's this like symbiotic relationship between these Mongolian like I don't know, like natives, and they hunt with birds, and they have like these hawks or these I don't know if it's a hawk or a eagle or something, and so they train the birds. It takes like years and years, and they train the bird to go and get to hunt for them, and then they share the food with them. It's really cool. It's a hawk. Yeah, they're really neat. Okay. So it gave me a tiger. I didn't ask for a tiger or an owl or a cow, but it's cool. Yeah, I'll definitely check this one out as well. And then there's a generate button. Okay, so you can ask for something. Anybody out there have any good idea? Bald eagle on a pickup truck. Let's see what it gives me. Oh, you gotta sign up. Okay, I'll do it later. Cool website. Definitely gonna check that one out. You can use a picture prompt now. Yeah, so that's pretty neat. You could, upload a picture, and then it's gonna find, develop something from there. Very cool. Very cool. Well, TJ, I don't know if you're interested, but let me know if you can join the Discord. I'm going to put the Discord link in the YouTube channel as well. So if you would want to come on and share some stuff, that would be really cool. Seems like you're kind of tapped into the art side of this, which is a whole nother aspect, which is definitely interesting and cool. And we got all these tools. It's like you got more tools than you know what to do with these days. So if I'm there, just don't have a working mic at the moment. Oh, okay. Oh, okay. Get a mic. Get a microphone. So I guess I'm gonna wrap up here pretty soon. I don't know. I guess I got something on. Hey, thanks for joining. I'm gonna post got somebody that just joined the Discord. Oh, that must be you, TJ, huh? In the Discord? Oh yeah, there you are. Okay. Sorry. I said you can join now, but you're already in there. Very good. Cool. Yeah, so post links up in there. I'll throw them up maybe next week or when you get a microphone. Come on and share some of this cool stuff with us and, teach me how to use it if you can. And I would love to develop like some videos for the podcast or, like I said, an audio track for the podcast. All I have is simple beats right now. And and that's kind of where I see the podcast going. More and more that I do it, the more I'm going to use AI and hopefully eventually have artificial intelligence develop more of the media stuff for me. Um, there is, one thing, unfortunately, that I have to mention today. A sad thing happened, and I'm not sure if you've heard but I just did want to address it before we leave today. And that is the passing of YouTuber and part of the Making a Murderer community, Millbilly. And I was really sorry to hear that this past Sunday that Millbilly has passed away. And from he has put in hours and hours of his life working towards helping Millbilly. TJ, I'm not sure if you heard. I just heard this recently that Millbilly has passed away. Yeah, may Millbilly's memory live on. He was a very important part of the Making a Murder community, from which many of you guys came from, and which I am and was a part of for many years. And so, my interactions with Millbilly were limited, but his impact on the community was definitely a strong and lasting impression for many people. I know that he was one of the main go-to YouTubers that kept the community alive for a long time. So my thoughts and prayers go out to his family and friends. And as Mystic Jinx said, may Millbilly's memory live on. I think that it's always a reminder to us how precious life is and how we never know if today could be our last, and that we should always treat everyone kindly and treat our every day like it could be our last. Live our best life. And I'm sorry to see someone from the community go. We've also lost Linda this year. And so definitely community has taken some hits and losses. Hey, Jack, nice to see you. Thanks for joining. Just kind of wrapping up here. It was just addressing the fact that we lost Millbilly, and that I hope thoughts and prayers go out to him, his family, and friends. And it's his impact on the community was definitely felt, and his absence will be felt as well. Um, Although I was not very close with him, I don't think that matters. I've watched a lot of his videos, and we never know how far this life will take us. We never know when the end is near or if it's near. And so we should all treat each other with respect and kindness. And, um, you know, we should all treat ourselves with kindness as well. We don't know what the world will bring for us, and so I'm sad to hear about it. And yeah, Jamie, that's right. Many have gone, and others will as well. We miss them all. And so, not to leave on a sad note, but I just wanted to add in that fact that, um, you know, like Jamie said, um, we will miss them all. So I hope you guys can join me next week. We're going to talk more about different artificial intelligence aspects, um, different tools to use. TJ has shared a plethora of websites with me. Definitely going to be exploring, trying to develop a new audio, hopefully an audio track for the podcast. Try to check out these websites and maybe make some cool images. So thanks to everybody who joined tonight, and I will be back at same time. I think this is probably going to be a normal time for me to go live. And so for the podcast All In AI, this is Jeff Jones saying we will see you guys on the next one. Thank you so much. Check out the Discord if you can join and drop anything that you find in the Discord, and we'll talk about it next week or the coming weeks. Thank you so much. Have a great evening, and we'll see you soon.